literally 40 seconds ago. According to local sources, there were at least 4 to 5 explosions in the vicinity of Sirik Naval Base. And also, before that, 30 minutes ago, CENTCOM announced they shut down 4 Iranian one-way attack drones. And I think Iran also said they've fired drones as a warning shot. I'm assuming it's the US. From what I see, it's the US trying to break the blockade, and Iran is saying, nope, not so fast. That's my assumption.
Very possible.
Okay. That's it. End of this topic. Let's move to something more interesting. Has there been any progress or any updates on that call, the Pakistani source? Anything new at all about the possibility of Iran having a nuclear weapon?
Yes, that is a pretty important topic.
Or nothing?
No, nothing yet. I mean, the only it's a confusing picture for this reason. On the one hand, Trump's rhetoric and social commentary with respect to Iran has just dried up. He hasn't said a word about Iran in 36 hours, I think. I'm just checking his Truth Social. He's talking about water fountains in D.C. and, cleaning up monuments around the country, stuff that's, not dangerous. But then we get these reports that we know that there were 6 KC-135s aloft. Now, when they go aloft, that's usually not a good sign. They're going to be refueling combat aircraft. So then the question is, what are the combat aircraft doing? Mm-hmm. I don't see Iran sitting around and just deliberately firing at a U.S. aircraft unless they are approaching or are engaged in something in an offensive operation. So, it's a mixed bag. If Trump is really, really serious about getting a peace deal, he'd tell the entire CENTCOM to stand down.
Just a heads up, the mic is the wrong one connected. So I'll let you connect the right one very quickly for the audience, because with this one we hear the wind.
Stand by, let me go.
There is where is it here? So Trump did speak. No, I know you weren't mentioning Truth Social. He did speak at an event. He said something brief about Iran. He said,
there we go.
There it is.
Sorry about that.
Perfect. No, it's all good. Trump says Iran has not agreed to a deal with the US. So he said the following about a deal. He says the Iranians have not agreed to a deal because they are strong and proud. And then he says they've got no choice. He says it takes a little while. You're talking about 47 years of getting away with whatever they wanted. I mean, this should have been done long ago. This should have been done before by other presidents of other countries. And then in that same statement, he says how they're strong and proud people. But his rhetoric of being very respectful towards Iran continues, which in your view, as long as you see that happen, it means that it gives more credence to the worry.
There are talks and negotiations underway.
Why is Trump suddenly speaking so respectfully towards Iran? It is strange.
So he is deliberately not saying anything that would blow those up. Because in the past he's calling, the Mustafa Khamenei a homosexual and talking about ending civilization.
He did do that. He did threaten to end their civilization too.
All that madness. So let's give I think it is. I don't think that is insignificant. I think it is highly significant, because go back and look at what he was saying like last Wednesday. Much different tone. And then this phone call took place on a Thursday, and the United States is informed about the new Iranian position late Thursday, early Friday, and then boom, change in Trump's tone. You got a better explanation? I'm all ears.
No, I don't have a better explanation. What do you make of the hold on, CENTCOM forces? Oh, that's the 4 drones that were fired. Someone else announcing it. Do you think, actually, on that nuke, do you think Iran will end up testing the nuke or no? Considering how things are going, they won't need to, or do you think they might?
No,
that is the one question I really have: is are they going to go the Israeli route, pretending they don't have nukes while they actually have nukes, or are they actually going to test?
I think Iran, if in the perfect world, would not want to have one. They prefer not to have one. Now, would they seek an intermediate road where ask North Korea or Pakistan to lend them one? Could be. I mean, Pakistan in the past has promised to provide one to Turkey if it was attacked. So
really, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
What year was that? Approximately.
I don't recall.
I hope this changes the escalation path, but I have my doubts. Well, if they do get a nuke, it does change things. It lowers the risk of Israel going in and nuking Iran, because Israel, it will get annihilated. It would probably pressure the United States to nuke Iran, maybe, but it would never do it itself. Actually, it probably wouldn't even push the United States, because Iran would still retaliate against Israel. So there's still danger of escalation, but I think it makes the situation overall less dangerous, because the biggest danger from nukes in the Middle East is Israel deciding to drop 20 on Iran.
Call the year, but it's been in the last 10 years.
Oh wow!
So, yeah. you've got that. So Turkey, Pakistan has already, established itself sort of as the nuclear banker. Hey, want to take out a loner? Now, remember, in the AQ Khan was he was the Johnny Appleseed of nuclear technology. He went around planting it everywhere.
Reminds me of the movie with Nicolas Cage. What is it called? Something of War, Warlord or something.
Lord of War.
Lord of
Lord
War.
of War.
Yeah, AQ Khan is the Lord of Nukes. That's the story.
Yeah.
We should make a movie about him.
No.
It's crazy how he avoided assassination for so long as well.
Yeah, well, everybody's hunting him down, at least the Israelis and the CIA, at a minimum.
What do you make of the developments today that Iran claims that missiles were fired at American warships? I think the Americans have rejected those claims. Do you think that's true? Do you think that these are warning shots? Because I feel like, so about 10 days ago, Twitter was telling me how 10 days ago they started, the Americans were trying to enforce the blockade even further and trying to, get ships through. So trying to have more control over the Strait of Hormuz. And it seems that the retaliations we've seen on the Iranian side in the last week were around that. Do you think first, do you think Iran did launch missiles at American warships? And second, is that just warning shots?
Well, they were warning shots, otherwise they would have hit. And it was a warning shot probably because the United States was trying to enter the Strait. Again, there's still a little bit of testing going on with the U.S. testing to see what the Iranian response will be. But Iran's made it clear they're going to respond forcibly.
Yep, they have.
If tempted or if taunted.
And this new confidence on Iran's side, I think, has to do with the possibility they might have a nuke.
There's the KK. Can you
or nukes?
Show the video of what was it? The USS Ford, the one that was.
They caught on fire.
Yeah, exactly. The one that had the laundry fire. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the pictures. It was severely damaged. I still don't know if it was hit by anything, but it did have some severe damage.
Yeah.
Do you think that was an Iranian attack? I had a guest tell me earlier.
Yes, I do. I don't think that was a dryer that caught on fire and got out of control for 30 hours.
Yes, that's true. A fire that raged for 30 hours. So I think Iran did manage to hit the Ford with a missile. That's not great for U.S.
Seriously?
Very bizarre.
Yeah. No, this for something this was a massive fire. I don't see how a dryer could do that.
Yeah, I've asked the team to show the videos, and also one of my let me see if I can find it. But one of my my team members was sending me like an analysis of it. They said that the American warships have the infrastructure to be able to contain a fire very quickly to avoid things like this. That is insane.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not an expert when it comes to warships, but that seems extremely significant.
Yeah.
It would have been a missile strike.
Yeah, most likely a missile strike. A drone. I don't think a drone would be able to do that kind of damage. And this got into the interior of the ship. So, we can't. I'd like someone to sit down and explain. Okay, let us explain to you how this dryer could catch on fire and set the whole damn ship and burn all the crew's quarters.
That's almost as bad as Iran hitting the Ford. Is a laundry fire causing a fire that lasts 30 hours and basically puts the ship out of commissions for months.
Explain how that happens.
Not years.
I've got some updates for you, Larry. So now it's been confirmed by Iranian media that explosions did take place, the ones 30 minutes ago that were denied, on Kashim and Sirik and Guruk, southern Iran. And the sources from Iran saying an Iranian retaliatory response is being prepared. So we're still seeing that tit for tat. Might see my phone beep again today.
Yeah, you're going to get the alarm. It depends on where this originated from.
Yeah, officially there's still a ceasefire going on, but it's pretty much a war at this point. Both sides attacking each other.
But you'd expect it to be similar to what we saw a couple of days ago, where Iran would just fire missiles at American bases.
Yeah, well, maybe if it came out of the UAE, and if it came from, let's say, Israeli sources, can't discount that as a possibility.
There's a report about the amount of bases Israel has across the region. There's like two in I think it's in Iraq. They've got one in Somaliland, where they've got one in the UAE. So their presence in the region is increasing further and further. And there's a warning today by the advisor to the Supreme Leader. He said he warned that if this relationship between the Gulf and Israel continue, the problems for them, we won't leave them after this war. This will continue even after the war. So that warning came in afterwards. So there's going to be a pretty big shake-up here in the Israeli presence in the region.
Yeah, well, Israel is not, I don't think, too welcome in Qatar or in Saudi Arabia. UAE is the biggest offender.
Trying to find that report that showed all the bases were to go through. I don't think I missed any of them. Another thing today that I was talking with, so Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Aguilar, okay, Mehran News has confirmed that multiple explosions were heard near Syric. So more sources are talking about these explosions. So once he seems that every time we jump on a show, Larry, things escalate. Things
Man,
get,
I'm
this needs fire up.
attracted to this stuff. I'm attracted to this stuff like a magnet.
We know exactly when shit hits the fan, and that's when we do our live interview. Exactly at about 3 a.m. UAE
Yeah, that's why I'm always reacting to this particular live stream, is because that's when the shit's happening.
time, so 2:30 or 3 a.m. Iranian time, between 2:30 and 3, because we know this is when they're going to start hitting each other. I was talking to Anthony. He did a really deep dive into that the NDAA, the legislation that's passing through that has Section 224, and he was breaking it down. Not sure
That legislation passed. The legislation that'll give Israel all our military secret has passed. It's fucked up.
if you had a chance to look at it further, but it's a lot worse than I expected. So he was telling me, Mario, it's there'll be like a specific department within the military, within the War Department, and there'll be
I'll have a look at that stuff with Argentina afterwards. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
a specific department. You don't know who will be under whose jurisdiction, and they'll have access. They'll have a budget allocated from the U.S. budget as well.
So what do you mean you'll know under whose jurisdiction? It'll be under the Secretary of Defense.
There you go. You've answered the question. But no, there's different. The military has all these different arms, different departments.
Well, they do, but ultimately it all comes under the Secretary of Defense.
And then there'll also be. So I was asking, who would allocate the budget? Will it be him directly?
Oh no. Well, so what happened is what they've done with this is before, when Congress would do an appropriation, the appropriation would basically, I think, was under the Department of State. So the State Department, the political military section, would handle foreign military sales, and that one of the reasons that Israel is pushing for this is that when it's under foreign military sales, it is open to scrutiny and oversight. Whereas if it's placed under a Pentagon budget, a DoD or DOW,
The Pentagon is a black hole in terms of the budget. No audit can successfully decipher. So we'll never find out what we're giving to Israel anymore.
budget, and if they decide to classify it, it's difficult to see what's really there. So yeah,
That's
it's
what's
just a way.
wrong.
It's a way to take any possible political retaliation out of the hands of Congress and put it into the executive branch.
And the Pentagon hasn't passed an audit for I don't know how many years. So all that money, we don't know where
They
it's
can't
going.
even spell audit.
How crazy is that? There's only a new department that will be the budget will be allocated to it. We don't know what the amount is. That will be potentially run by an Israeli officer. By the way, Anthony said, "Mario, I wouldn't be surprised if an Israeli officer runs this new department that merges the U.S. military and the Israeli military." And he wants to even go to Washington to try to make noise about it.
Yeah, it's not merging the militaries. What it is it's merging the acquisition of
The technology side and, yes, the acquisition side.
weapon systems and technologies. That is not actually putting chain of command where there'd be Israeli troops working under CENTCOM. That's not contained in there. This is really
Israel wouldn't want that.
about how do you get money allocated to buy weapon systems and buy technologies. And the idea is that we're going to go get technologies.
Okay. I was looking up what you were typing about Proton Snail. I'll look into that more later, but it appears that it's at least someone claims it's been debunked. But I'm pretty sure it was a bullet. But we'll see.
Version of some of our equipment. Now I think they're going to try to eliminate. There'll just be a U.S. version that Israel gets.
That's insane. And there's also going to get access to the technology. They're going to access the intelligence, similar to the Five Eyes. Access to licensing.
Well,
How Zelensky?
I'm not that excited. I think people are overstating the importance of them getting access to Five Eyes intelligence. I think because anything that's really relevant to Israel, they've already got.
The worries that what if they get intelligence on Americans? That's what the CIA, for example, would have, and the NSA would have a lot of intelligence on, because we're seeing a lot of targeting of influencers that are critical of Israel, and they start getting a lot more intel on Americans. That's never good.
Well, as I understand it, we are not collecting on Israel, even though Israel's collecting on us.
That's insane.
And that I heard from John Kiriakou.
Yeah, actually, would he be good to get on the show again? I haven't spoken. He'd be good to ask him about this. But it's just so heartbreaking to see this happen. And it already passed. Apparently, Ro Khanna was trying to get the Section 22, whatever, 224, Section 224 removed, and that failed. So now they're
Yeah.
going to vote. But how insane is that, Larry? How crazy is that we're going to have Israeli intelligence with access to the Israelis, the IDF with access to American intelligence, technology, licensing, and even having access to, American capital?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's just a reminder of who owns this country. It's crazy.
It's not getting any better either.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it's not. Or at least, right. Well, what's getting better is more and more American citizens are getting outraged by it and pissed off. The members of Congress who are, for the most part, political prostitutes, they're still taking the money. When the money finally dries up and becomes a liability, then you'll see change.
Did we
Yep.
talk about the drone that
That might be pretty soon.
struck Oman, by the way? Well, that happened this morning.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, what do you think?
I wasn't even aware. Where did it hit?
A drone struck Oman. Surprisingly,
that's
not many people are aware of it.
right.
Oman's Mina Al Fala terminal, one of the country's main crude oil hubs, halted all loading after explosion. It wasn't a major explosion, but it's a drone attack that no one claimed responsibility of. So it's a bizarre attack. But
Yeah, most likely, again, primary culprit Israel, because
Yeah.
Iran's not going to go hitting Oman because Oman's been Iran's friend.
Yeah, it's not. And Iran has claimed responsibility for all attacks it's done.
yeah, that's what would be bizarre.
Yeah,
So we've got that happening. We've got explosions happening right now. We've got Iran claiming missiles were fired at American warships. We haven't got any reports of any major bombing of Iran. And then we've got the story in Lebanon where they're trying to get an agreement between the two sides. Hezbollah replied, by the way, they said Hezbollah will withdraw from the south, according to Nabi Berri. So he said that Hezbollah will withdraw from south of the Litani River if Israel withdraws from occupied Lebanese territory at the same time. So this is the offer that Hezbollah has on the table, which goes back to the similar to the ceasefire they had before this Iran war, where Hezbollah was meant to withdraw out of the south, and Israel withdrew out of the Lebanese territory. So this is the proposal on the table that is being discussed, and everyone's looking at whether this ends up sabotaging the entire peace negotiations. But if there is the possibility of Iran, if Iran has a nuke, then the Lebanon issue should also be sorted.
yeah. Now we're gonna, again, we'll find out if the Pakistani source is, he was correct in one thing. I mean, is he correct in the overall? It's his credibility that's on the line. I come out and say right now, here's what he claimed. What the first thing he claimed has happened. Now we'll see what happens with number 2 and number 3. But you're right. I'm seeing these headlines starting to pop up. So that the U.S. targeted Sirik, which is a naval base,
Yeah, you saw that. Yeah,
and casualties. Not just casualties. There were some Iranian sailors killed in action. So this will be a major retaliatory strike by Iran, and it'll probably happen within the next 30 minutes. But first of all, where did the strikes come from? The aircraft, did they originate from UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia? Depending on the point of origin will be who gets hit.
exactly. You'll know if my phone rings or not. That was to give you an indication of
Yeah.
of who attacked.
Because Mario is in Dubai.
I'll put it right here so I can see it. There you go.
But do you have a bomb shelter nearby?
No, it's not. It's not that bad. It was never that bad. But it's crazy these things are even being discussed.
Dubai.
There it is, the Israeli one. Israel secretly. There was a report today that Israel even deployed special forces to Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan rejected the claims, but that came in from CNN. Israeli personnel in Azerbaijan included special forces, rescue units, and Mossad operatives. Azerbaijan denied the allegations, stating the claims that its territory was used for operations are unfounded. Do you think that could be true? The Azerbaijani deployment was part of a wider network of covert Israeli operations across the region, including Iraq, the UAE, Somaliland. We're just talking about it. The forward positions expanded Israel's operational reach around Iran and supported sustained military operations during the war, which kind of goes back to the point we were just discussing earlier, why Iran is so strict on any countries that are close to Israel. These expanded. But do you think Azerbaijan housed Israeli troops?
Not knowingly. It's possible that they were brought into the secret airfield. But I can't rule out that it wouldn't be the first time that the Azeris did something like that to betray Iran, even though, Muqtada is Azeri by birth. I mean, his father is Azeri.
Oh, yeah, true. True, I forgot that part. Talking about Mustafa, by the way, he put out a statement, his office put out a statement, he's not willing to meet the president. He said that today, not sure if you saw.
Yeah, I did see that.
Did you chuckle?
Oh, yeah, well, why, what do you say to the guy that killed your parents and your wife and daughter? You punch him in the face is what you do. And, that would have created a scene.
Right there. That's Azerbaijan, right here. So apparently, there's claims there were Israeli troops here, just to the north of Iran.
Yeah. There's There's here another report on the Israeli side. A leaked Israeli Ministry of Defense tender shows that Israeli defense establishment has been training military and security personnel in influence and psychological operations aimed at shaping public opinion in Israel and abroad. The program can train up to 320 participants annually in areas including propaganda, psychological warfare, audience profiling, influence campaigns, intelligence gatherings, gathering deepfakes, online activism, and black hat techniques designed to bypass platform restrictions imposed by companies such as Facebook and Google. The curriculum focuses largely on offensive influence operations, including methods for influencing public perceptions, tailoring messaging to specific audiences, measuring campaign effectiveness, and integrating intelligence collection into information operations. Some courses are conducted in English. That's insane. So they've expanded their...
That is called propaganda. And that is setting up propaganda networks.
For the next battlefield now is the information warfare that we're seeing. I've just gotten a report, sorry. Five US airstrikes struck Bandar Siddiq naval base approximately 30 minutes ago, resulting in the deaths of at least one IRGC member. That's a news source and it's been confirmed. So we've just got an American base strike on Iran. So we'll see similar retaliation, you think, to 2-3 days ago? If it's true?
I think it'll be larger than 2 or 3 days ago.
This seems, by what you just said, seems more extensive than the strikes that were a few days ago, so the retaliation will also be more extensive. Anyone in Dubai, be careful.
What doesn't make sense, on the one hand, as we talked about at the outset, this Pakistani report says that the U.S. and Iran are in deep talks, and it's making progress. That they're very close, and yet,
yes, apparently we have this report that they're in talks and making progress. Yet we have other reports that Iran is about to test a nuke, and we have other reports that these are true. Is that the United States just bombed Iran again? So it's 3 parallels that pass that don't seem to correlate with each other.
Oh, you got that. You didn't have these. They've been almost nightly attacks at 2:30 in the morning, Iran time, that are clear provocations. So it's like, the right hand and the left hand of the U.S. government don't know what the other is doing.
It's very bizarre. It's very mixed messages because on one side, we see the Americans scrabbling to make sure Israel does not escalate in Lebanon. And we see them downplay the attacks on Kuwait and Bahrain. Then it looks like Trump is trying to downplay things. And then we see things like this. It's difficult to make sense of it and make sense of what the strategy is, if there is one. Like, if they are trying to downplay, how does this make sense? Why bomb them and cause deaths right now in the middle of the ceasefire and alleged ongoing negotiations? There were reports that there was progress on the unfreezing of assets today. And then we see this. It's just bizarre. Unless maybe the Americans are retaliating on the Iranians attacking first. Maybe the anti-ship missiles that were fired earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, someone tried to get Asmund to learn about the integration of military, etc., with Israel. It was very, I'm sick and tired about Israel and didn't look into it at all. Bad, Asmund. Bad.
I don't see. I have not seen the quote provocation by Iran, because they're not just going to get them to start firing at a ship for the heck of it. The ships are doing something that caught Iran's attention and enabled them to fire in that direction. But clearly this is, if you're going to go tit for tat, then whatever Iran does tonight, then U.S. retaliates tomorrow.
Unless Trump downplays it again, like he did with Turkey, Bahrain.
Yeah.
Well, he downplayed it, but then he struck them again today. So a few days later, so it's ongoing.
I mean, that'll be interesting to see. Is he going to keep with that approach? Downplay.
What would you need to see to say to determine that? What are lines that you think if they are crossed, then we could get back into escalation and maybe a resumption of war? For example, I can't think of sinking a U.S. warship. It's an extreme example. What are other red lines?
Well, if they kill a number of U.S. soldiers or airmen,
Trump said that.
Kuwait, that the administration was unable to hide. That's the key. If they can hide it and keep it under wraps, then they may let that go and just not to restart the war. The problem for Trump is if he restarts, it's like you've been digging a hole, then you stop, and then you start digging again. It's going to get filled up with water.
Well, it's just stupid. Dig a hole, you get out of it, then you jump back in, start digging again. It's not. Why did you bother stopping?
What do you think is a red line for the Iranians, for them to respond in a very significant way, striking?
Well, they made clear Israel attacking Beirut is a red line, and I've been thinking a lot about that today. This is the first time, I think, in history that you've had a country come out and declare, if you attack Lebanon. Like Iran. If you attack Lebanon and the capital Beirut, then you're attacking us. We're treating it the same, and therefore we will respond and retaliate the same. You've never had a country that's done that.
But it makes sense. The only reason there's war right now in Lebanon is because Hezbollah joined to support Iran. It is basically Hezbollah and Iran have an alliance, and this threat on part of Iran is their side of the alliance,
Or at least, this kind of thing that happens in war. Like for the Britons, they said, for the Germans, you attack Poland, then you're attacking us. So that's on this level. But
And no one's done it for Lebanon. Like one thing that if you've noticed, not one country standing up to Lebanon right now. Saudi's not
standing for Lebanon. You mean not standing up to Lebanon?
not one. And none of the Macron, one of the most vocal people against any Israeli or any aggression in Lebanon, trying to bring peace to Lebanon. He feels like he owes it to Lebanon to take care of it because Lebanon was a French colony. Even Macron's very quiet right now. Feels like no one wants to piss off Trump or feels like they overstep Trump. And to the Lebanese, the only country that's standing up to the Israeli invasion is Iran. Obviously, some Lebanese people blame Iran for this and for Hezbollah attacking Israel. But even those voices, when they see Israel leveling villages, and today there was like the minister of I don't know what minister. I think there's a minister of settlements. No joke. In Israel, there's a minister of settlements. Yeah, Israeli minister of settlements.
Yes. Whoever is that minister should be in jail. I don't know anything about it, but the settlements. I hate the settlements.
And national missions.
I thought you were going to unleash Monty Python on us with the Ministry of Silly Walks.
But he literally said, change the border. We need to go in this direction. He's explicitly saying, annex Lebanese territory, change the border.
Yeah. That Greater Israel, they're not secretive about it. They want the Greater Israel. And to do that, they need to steal land from all the countries around them.
I'm really worried this leads to civil war in Lebanon. I know you're very familiar with how civil war was over many decades, but I'm worried that this is what's going to happen because the Lebanese government is being very strict against Hezbollah.
Well, let's say it will revive the civil war. I'm not sure the civil war has ever been settled.
Yeah.
You've had a truce, but they got back to some measurement of normality. But boy, it was a bloody mess there in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. What do you think is the likelihood we'll see civil war back in Lebanon?
I think it's pretty high. Of course, this deal that the United States brokered for Lebanon and Israel. The Lebanese army is incapable of doing anything effective against Hezbollah.
Because United States and Israel have made sure that it's weak and pathetic because they don't want a strong military in Lebanon.
One simple reason. I think 40% of the Lebanese army are comprised of Shia who've got ties to Hezbollah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll keep you posted on this. I want to ask you about Ukraine now. But there's fighter jets right now over southern Iraq, so I'll keep you posted as we get more updates on any potential Iranian retaliation. Putin spoke today. There was an attack. I think I saw an attack earlier today on Moscow, a drone attack on Moscow. I could be wrong. But I saw reports of that. I haven't had time to look into it. And we've got the Ukraine Support Act passing. Democrats voted for more support to Ukraine and more sanctions on Russia. So the American support is still there. Putin seems to want to escalate the war. He said no to meeting Zelensky. What do you think about how this is looking right now?
Well,
the Democrats are very keen on supporting Ukraine, and if there's a sweep later this year where they sweep the House and the Senate, that could be seen as a pretty negative thing for Putin. He might want to act before that.
If you saw Putin today at SPIEF, when he was asked a question about
I think by the time the next, if Democrats do win the midterms, by next January when they take office, the situation in Ukraine will be vastly different than it is today. So I think it will be very close to being wrapped up, and I don't think it'll be far too late for any type of aid package to change things.
Zelensky letter, and he shredded it. He tore it apart. We're not going to talk to him. Not going to waste our time. But then at one point he began running down a list of greetings and congratulations to every soldier, sailor, airman, went through, wherever they were on the battlefield. It was a pretty lengthy list. And then he ended with, work, brothers. Now, that I doubt you're not familiar with that expression and what it means in Russian history. So 10 years ago in Dagestan, which is a Muslim republic, these Islamic extremists captured this one soldier, Russian soldier, and I forget his name, but they were asking him to condemn all of his colleagues, all of his fellow soldiers and officers, and said, "We're going to kill you." And he said, "Okay." And he said, "Work, brothers." It was like a call to arms. So when Putin used that expression today, it was meant with a militant tone of they're not giving in, they're not surrendering, and they're going to keep attacking until they destroy these people. That's what that meant.
That's not a good sign.
Okay. Well, I think that covers all the major topics. Apparently, there's probably going to be more missiles flying from Iran later. It's still a mess in the Middle East. I repeat, I believe this will end sometime in August, probably, or early September. That's by then the oil shock will have really hit. Even the futures market will be soaring higher, and gas prices will go up to 6, 7. It'll be fun. And boy, are Republicans going to panic when that happens, because $6 a gallon gasoline, it means their hopes for the midterms go down the drain. Anyway, this will be on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Come watch on Kick or Twitch, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.